The first story was sent in by someone who said they used to believe parks were safe places, open spaces, families, joggers, somewhere danger wouldn't dare show itself. That belief ended one summer evening. They were in college at the time, living near a large city park that stretched for miles. During the day, it was crowded. At night, it emptied out fast. But there was one walking trail that stayed dimly lit, and people still used it to cut through on their way home. That's what they were doing. It was just after sunset. The air was warm, cicadas buzzing. The kind of calm that makes you let your guard down. Halfway through the trail, they noticed footsteps behind them. Not unusual. People pass through all the time. They stepped aside to let the person pass. No one did. The footsteps slowed when they slowed. They stopped walking. The footsteps stopped too. They turned around. No one was there. The path behind them was empty. Trees on both sides. No branches moving, no sound except their own breathing. They told themselves it was paranoia and kept walking. That's when they heard it again. This time, closer, right behind them. They spun around and shouted, "Hello?" Nothing, but now they noticed something new. On the dirt path, there were fresh footprints, bare feet leading directly toward them, and stopping right where they stood. They ran the rest of the way out of the park, heart pounding, lungs burning. They didn't look back. The next morning, local news reported a man had been arrested in that same park. He'd been hiding off the trail at night, following people silently, barefoot, just to see how close he could get before they noticed. The second story came from a woman who worked late shifts at a restaurant near a riverside park. She often cut through it to save time on her walk home. She'd done it dozens of times without issue, until the night she saw the man on the bench. It was close to midnight. The park lights cast long shadows across the paths. Most of the benches were empty. Except one, a man sat perfectly still, facing the path, not slouched, not relaxed, just sitting upright, hands on his knees, staring straight ahead. She passed him quickly, trying not to make eye contact. As she walked by, she realized something felt wrong. He hadn't blinked. She glanced back after a few steps. He was now watching her. His head hadn't turned gradually. It was just facing her, locked onto her. She sped up. She heard him stand. Footsteps followed her, slow and deliberate. She crossed the bridge at the edge of the park and stepped onto a busier street, blending into traffic and noise. She didn't see him again until 3 nights later. She was closing the restaurant when she glanced out the window. Across the street at the edge of the park, she saw the same man sitting on a bench, facing the restaurant, staring. She called a coworker to walk her home. The next day, police questioned staff in the area. A man matching that description had been detained. He'd been watching women who passed through the park, following some of them home, memorizing routines. In his backpack, police found handwritten notes, dates, times, descriptions, including hers. The third story came from someone who said they still avoid parks entirely. They were a teenager at the time, hanging out with friends at a neighborhood park after dark. There were 6 of them, music playing softly from a phone, laughter echoing across the playground. They felt untouchable. That's when the swing started moving. One of the swings on the far end of the playground began rocking slowly, back and forth, no wind. They all went quiet. Someone joked that it was probably the wind anyway. Then another swing started moving. Then another. 3 swings, swaying gently, perfectly in rhythm. They froze. A voice spoke from the darkness near the tree line. "You shouldn't be here this late." They couldn't see who said it. "Park closes at 10, the voice continued. Calm, almost polite. One of them shouted back that they were leaving. The voice laughed, a low, quiet laugh. "Good," it said, "because I've been watching you for a while." They ran. As they reached the parking lot, one of them tripped and dropped their phone. The screen shattered on the pavement. No one went back for it. The next day, when they returned with adults, the phone was gone. In its place, carved into the dirt beneath the swing set, were words scratched deep into the ground. "I was still here." No one ever officially reported it. But years later, one of the friends admitted something. While they were sitting on the playground that night, they weren't alone. Someone had been standing just beyond the reach of the lights the entire time, watching, waiting. And if they had stayed even a few minutes longer, none of them believed they would have made it home.